Even me personally, like, this is not morbid, but I joyfully look forward to the day where my body dies. Now listen, I love my family, I love my wife, and I love my kids, and I want to have as much time with them as possible. But being with them, today we're going to talk about the fun topic of death. And maybe we're not going to talk about it in the way that you think we're going to talk about it. We're going to start by reading a couple verses in Philippians, and we'll get into why we're going to talk about death today. And so we're going to pick up in chapter 1, verse 21. It says, "For me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. If I'm to live in the flesh, that means fruitful labor for me. Yet which I shall choose, I cannot tell. I am pressed hard between the two. My desire is to depart and be with Christ, for that is far better." This is Paul. He's in prison. He would rather go be with Jesus. "But to remain in the flesh is more necessary on your account. Convinced of this, I know that I will remain and continue with you all for your progress and joy in faith, so that in me you may have ample cause to glory in Jesus Christ because of my coming to you again." What Paul is saying here is, I really long to be with Jesus. Even me personally, like, this is not morbid, but I joyfully look forward to the day where my body dies. Now listen, I love my family, I love my wife, and I love my kids, and I want to have as much time with them as possible. But being with them pales in comparison. It is nothing in comparison to what I will experience one day in being with Jesus. And so we have to keep our perspective fixed, because if you idolize this life so much, you will do a lot of things to protect yourself or to keep yourself safe, or you will avoid certain things that God might be calling you to do out of self-preservation. Paul is saying, hey, for me to live is Christ. Good. I get to go and I get to continue my ministry of Jesus. I get to glorify him. But to die is actually to gain for me. And it's only those who have made Jesus Lord of their life who can say that to die is gain, right? If you're an atheist, to die is nothing. You become nothing. If you're other religions, to die might not be a gain. You might be reincarnated into something not so good, or maybe your karma wasn't good, or whatever it may be. For Christians, for believers, to die is gain, and we have to keep that in our mind at all times. But here's what I want you to know. We should not just live this life where we just sit around and wait to die. There is something we've been called to here and now, even though we look forward to the day where we will be glorified with Christ in our death. We still have to live a certain way. And so I'm going to pick back up in verse 27 here. It says, "Only let your manner of life be worthy of the gospel of Christ, so that whether I come and see you or am absent, I may hear of you, that you're standing firm in one spirit, with one mind, striving side by side for the faith of the gospel." And so we have to remember, we should be living our lives in a manner worthy of the gospel that we've been given. So often you get this kind of gospel idea where people say, oh yeah, it's free grace. All you have to do is believe. It doesn't matter what you do after that. And what they do understand well is that it's not based on your works as to whether or not you're saved, but we have been called as obedient sons and daughters of Christ to live in a way worthy of the gospel while we're here on earth. Sure, we look forward to being with Jesus, not in a morbid, not in a suicidal way. We look forward to being with Jesus because it's going to be better than this life. But today, right now, he's called us to so much more. We should live in a manner worthy of the gospel of Jesus. If Jesus was living your life with you, would he be glorified or would you be embarrassed? And you have to understand, like, this is not just if you feel like it, this is him commanding the church in Philippi, live better. Live better so that you might be worthy. We should strive to be worthy. We will never earn our way into that worthiness, but we should strive to live in a way that's worthy of the gospel of Jesus. And so we really should. We should look forward to death. As believers, we should look forward to dying one day so that we can go be with Jesus. And so change your perspective a little bit. As you're thinking on things, when you encounter hard times, you know what? This is nothing compared to glory one day. And so even if I were to die right now, it would be a gain for me. If you can get your mind there, you can do a lot of amazing things in the gospel and in the kingdom of God. That's it for us today, guys. As always, you can find us, Hope Church Carrollton, 306 Burns Road in Carrollton, Georgia, 10 o'clock on Sundays, 6:30 on Wednesdays. We'll see you there.